Hey everyone, so today's video we're going to be talking about RGB heroes that you want to build if you want to compete in RTA. So the thing is obviously light and dark legendaries are overpowered. They're way too good. I think everyone is in line with this, but sometimes maybe you don't have these heroes, right? And you need to make it work at least to get your 20 wins, each week to get your books or your book pages. You don't need to have a high win percentage or anything like that, but it's free resources that you guys really need to take advantage of, even if it's a slog. But I'm going to tell you, a list here. I think I've got about close to 15 heroes that are really, really good in RTA. Now, some of them are more efficient than others, and you got to be aware of that, but there is some overlap with some of these heroes in like PvE content, which is always nice. The other ones, though, are strictly for Arena, and in this case, RTA. I wanted to preface and say RTA because there are specific heroes that I'm leaving out of this, like, what's her face? Giranol, who's just amazing in Guild versus Guild and Arena offense, but I think she needs plenty of support heroes in RTA to actually make her work. If she goes unchecked, she does, do her job well. But I am not mentioning her in here because it's kind of just an RTA list and how they stand alone. Okay? So, with that being said, let's get on to the list. So, first off is Guan Yu. Guys, this hero is the most efficient hero in the game. He is 100% worth the pots. If you pulled one Guan Yu, your main priority should be to A5 Guan Yu. He does everything. He is top tier in two of the hardest dungeons, which is Gemini Dragon and Witch of the Wind. He also has application in Queen of Tides, okay? He's amazing in baseline dungeons. On top of that, he does have an application in Rift of Chaos Water as well, but most of the time, if you pull the Ackerly is just a much easier gearing route, and you don't have to worry about speed requirements on your Guan Yu, but that is beside the point. He's also absolutely amazing in Guild versus Environment. But he has that built-in trait for light and dark enemies. He can outspeed the fastest LDs in the game. He can outspeed the Desdemonas. He can outspeed, the Dark Twins. So he's just absolutely fantastic and a necessity if you want to compete in RTA. He is your main damage dealer. If you go up against any slow, tanky light and dark heroes, similar to like Zoltan, Corrupt Aurak, Brand the Brilliant, you have Vengeful Hassle. You have, who else you got in there? You got Wilsey. You got Horseface. All of these heroes. If he's A5, he's going to one-shot them just by them taking a turn. It's fantastic. Really easy to gear. Like I said, most efficient hero in the game. Fantastic seasonal hero. This was a great job by the devs, for sure. So he is number one. Elise. Now, Elise comes with a caveat, okay? She's very, very hard to gear. You need her extremely fast. The best type of Elise builds are with speed and damage, but that is very hard for, mid to even, early endgame players. But the nice thing is even if you just go max speed, she can be a great disruptor. She can take care of, Wilsey's, Adelines, before they have any kind of, chance to get off the ground. Fantastic disruptor, for sure. And then, with the added benefit, if she is Ascended 5, you don't need it, but if she is Ascended 5, like most heroes in the game, once they're Awakened, they are much better. But she doesn't need it. If you just make her extremely fast, she can be a fantastic disruptor and, take care of any of those problem LD heroes, before they even get a chance to get off the ground. So, Elise, fantastic option. I still think she's a top tier RGB unit, 100%. And the only problem is that she's very tough to build. Another hero is Rick. Man, I got my butt handed to me the other day by Zeno. This hero is just amazing. If I ever get mine to A5, I will book him. He does need A5 because he just has raw damage increase by 30% when he's in stealth. Another thing that another reason why Rick is so good is his stealth. Now, this is a bug, but the devs are never going to fix it. But his stealth actually doesn't have a buff on it, so it's not. It doesn't register it like as being in stealth. This is important because heroes like Divine Yolanda, who specifically say that they can hit heroes in stealth mode, she can't even target them. So her ultimate right here, it says this ability can hit enemies in the stealth state. Doesn't matter with Rick. And I know that's kind of annoying, but it has literally been this way forever, and they've just never fixed it. I don't even know if they know about it or care about it. But yeah, his stealth state, he can't be targeted by Divine Yolanda. On top of that, in the meta right now, there aren't a whole lot of AoE damage dealers or AoE heroes in general. You have a couple, like Desdemona. You have Divine Yolanda. Not Divine Yolanda, Dark Twin. You also have like Crazed Urzag, people like that. So there are, some times where you don't want to bring him in, but he can deal with some of the best tanks out there. He has really big damage on his ultimate. He ignores 80% of the target's defense, and he even counterattacks whenever they have Mark of Doom. And this resets whenever the hero with Mark of Doom on it dies. He's pretty quick. He does have True Strike, which actually works for him. It's a little tricky to build him, but he has a really nice attack stat. He's just got a lot of things really going for him. And I'm really excited to build this guy whenever I actually get more copies. So he is another issue. His issue here, like Elise needs really stat-intensive gear. Rick needs A5, which is a bummer. But, in order to compete with some of these LDs, you definitely need A5s for the most part. But not necessary. Especially in the lower tiers, like 600 to 1,000, which is all you need to get the book at the end, as well as a skin, as one of the skins. So that should be your goal. Next up is Cordelia. So Cordelia is still bugged. They just can't seem to fix this hero. She triggers sometimes, from her trait on heroes that have block, like against Crazed Urzag and stuff like that. But overall, she has been nerfed where they need to get some kind of stat boost, which is an active effect, not from trait, except for few specific heroes. But she's still absolutely amazing. That morph ability just completely negating traits is busted. She's still a fantastic hero. She only has a few, counters. Karma, Royce, Kelowna, and, the latter two are, mid at best. Karma just destroys her, but the other two are, like I said, mid at best. Also, Derek can sniper and kill her before she even gets her trait off and things like that. But, yeah, very fantastic hero. A lot of times she's still the main ban just because she's so strong. But, yeah, Cord is kind of a must-have. And the nice thing about Cord is she also transitions well into Guild versus Environment, and she has some application in Queen of Tides on the higher stages. So you don't, need a whole lot of investment in Cordelia. I don't think you need her booked or anything, and she's just used in PvE as well. So this is a pretty efficient hero as well. Okay, next up we have Jerome. So Jerome used to need an Ascend 5, I would say, to be like top tier, but now because of the bugs in the game, with the shield proccing his abilities at the beginning of the round, I'm sure they'll say it's working as intended, but that just doesn't seem right to me. This can really screw him up, and it can actually be a downside. But The nice thing is with the bugs, he's just as good without his ascension as he is with it. So I guess that's the silver lining there. But, you know, because he doesn't trigger critical strikes, he can take out some of the best tanks in the game. He still doesn't have enough damage to deal with Vengeful Hassle, because Vengeful Hassle is just one of the most idiotic characters in the entire game. Whoever made that character on the Ace team deserves to be fired. That person stinks, in my opinion. I can't believe they made that hero. He's just infuriating. The design behind it, and what's amazing is they even nerfed him. So imagine how great he was prior. But anyway, I digress. But this ultimate, it one-shots anybody that has an inkling of defense, right? Zoltan, Naya, Nero, Atara. He can one-shot some Wilsies. He can one-shot some of the Horse Faces. He can one-shot some of the Shark Soul Andres, Light Twin. He has tons of applications, and he can build them fast to go in and kind of snipe people. On top of that, because his attack is so high, Alysia can't one-shot him, which is amazing. And then his extra turn, if nobody brought, some kind of shield set or anything like that, he's going to proc his extra turn, especially if he's ascended against Alysia's, and then counterattack. So, pretty nice. Or he'll at least remove the charm from Alysia with his extra turn and then get to go in and still get his turn. So, Jerome, still a fantastic hero. Doesn't really need A5 anymore. It's always a plus, but he is just as efficient without it, in my opinion. Next up is Jocasta. Jocasta is the only hero, the only hero in the game that reduces a cooldown or durations of debuffs with her fancy word attenuate. I don't know why they just didn't say decrease. But anyway, they chose to use attenuate. So why this is good is if you have heroes like Desdemona or Adeline that are faster than her, whenever she takes her turn, she has the ability to reduce the cooldown of that. So with Adeline, where something is up for 2 turns, Jocasta can actually reduce it to 1 turn, so the person that Adeline actually put the debuff up on will only have it for that turn. So the next time that they come around, they will be able to do damage instead of having the energy reversal. Jocasta as well is a direct counter to Desdemona. Desdemona's usually ran really fast. Even though Jocasta can be very quick, it's nice to have her slower than that. So somewhere around 320 speed, anywhere from 280 to 320 is probably a really nice place for Jocasta to be. One of the bummers is she can be one-shot by Alysia, which is a very prominent character in the meta. But other than that, still extremely strong. She puts up defense up on all of your heroes, which isn't great nowadays, but the immune is very strong. She also has invincible and heal over time, which is great, and then she does true damage and restores health. She's just got an all-around great kit. The nice thing is she's also extremely applicable in dungeons as well as Rift of Chaos. She's top tier in Rift of Chaos Earth Boss as well as Rift of Chaos Water Boss. So you're getting multiple applications there. She doesn't really need to be booked, but if she is booked, she's going to last a lot longer in the RTA meta. All right, moving on to the fire heroes. So first one is Balberith. This guy has some applications. Now, I still think he needs to be picked at the right time, but he can cause a lot of havoc against some of these main LDs. He can go toe-to-toe with Desdemona. If he is Ascended 5, he's going back to full health and then putting up ability immunity. So on a one-on-one scenario, he beats Desdemona. So Desdemona can keep him controlled, but whenever she brings up his death immunity, his ability immunity, he'll die. He'll bring up the ability immunity, and then she'll attack him with the curse, and it won't proc. So then he'll have a chance to attack and then one-shot her with her ultimate. Now, I'm still playing around with some of his damage. He's very stat intensive. The true health has been fixed, which is nice, but usually whenever you go for the max health, his attack suffers. He does have the downside of having an ability cooldown being reduced on his ultimate instead of like an additional 30 damage, which I think would go a long way. He also needs some kind of support with negative effects. It would really help, just because the multiplier on his ultimate like goes up exponentially with that. But regardless, he is still really good. He can compete with the LDs, which is why he's in here. But you have to be, aware of some of these heroes that they might bring in. Heroes like Cordelia, heroes like Divine Yolanda that completely ignore his traits. So he's not like a first pickable character. Not really any of these heroes are, maybe other than Guan Yu or Elise. They're good just general first picks because of their speed and utility. But Balb is kind of a really strong pick, but it needs to be in certain scenarios. Next up is Alysia. So, everyone knows Alysia. She's just so fast. She does so much damage. She has, she has crowd control with her charm on her trait. So if she attacks somebody twice, they don't get to move. She counterattacks if somebody puts up support abilities or grants an extra turn. She's just amazing all around. She's one of the only true counters to Adeline, which is an extremely strong hero in the meta right now. So just that alone would make her extremely good. But she's great against Guan Yu. She's great against Elise. She's really good against Jaka. So that just makes her an all-around god tier kind of hero right now. So definitely a top pick for any kind of PvP setting. Next up, we have Karma. Karma has just been so strong of a hero in this meta. Obviously, great counter against Cordelia, but on top of that, she's really good counter against Alysia as well. If Alysia does attack, a higher attack hero, similar to like a Jerome, she'll proc that charm, and then Karma will go in and activate her counterattack and grant an extra turn. She's also really good against Corrupt Orak, which has been abused lately with Guan Yu. She's good against Doomweaver Valeria, whenever she puts up her stuns. Just a lot of really good applications for Karma. So an amazing top tier hero. I don't know what the meta would even look like without her. There's a lot of, like, if she wasn't in the meta, I think Cord would still be running rampant. So this was a really good hero for them to introduce, in my opinion. So next up is a hero that I completely underestimated in PvP. I got crapped on the other day by Machine in PvP. This hero is amazing, and that's Huntress Freya. There's so many heroes that do counterattacks, that are extremely relevant in the meta right now. You have Horseface, you have Adeline, you have Vengeful Hassle, which are all amazing heroes right now. On top of that, the Light Twin puts a counterattack up on herself whenever she uses her ultimate. Also, Oderic does counterattacks as well whenever he's attacked. So this Invincible applies a lot. On top of that, this hero is extremely quick, very quick. She also has a special ability that removes positive effects at the beginning, of the round. If somebody has an immunity set on, this activates. So if you're having issues, getting your Desdemona to proc, if you're having issues with your Adeline procking, because people are putting up immunity sets on certain heroes, Huntress Freya is a really great option. She also puts defense down 2 up on people, as well as stagnation. There's a lot of bonus turns that are applied nowadays, especially with the twins, granting bonus turns. It's pretty nuts. But pulling in the highest attack hero is really strong as well. She pairs great with Guan Yu. Just a fantastic hero. Like, I completely underestimated her. If you are having trouble with the new horse face guy, just bring in Huntress Freya and you'll dominate him. So yeah, Huntress Freya completely overlooked her when she first came out from a PvP setting. Next is Alysia. So Alysia is still extremely hard countered by Cordelia, but I will say the other heroes like Shark Solandre and stuff are a lot less prevalent in the meta nowadays. Tank heroes just aren't what they used to be. You know, there's way too many counterattacks, bonus turns, super mega ultra joint attacks, joint attack, max health, true max health damage, health applying damage through max health calculation, true strike. Just like way too many things where tank heroes just aren't what they used to be. So Shark Solandre just, in my opinion, isn't really good anymore. And Alysia was kind of one of those direct counters. Well, he was a direct counter to Alysia as well, with her speed down. But now this ultimate actually has an ability to do fairly well. She's the fastest hero, fastest RGB Lego in the game. So when it comes, Lego, I said that. So I mean, her instant bonus turn is just fantastic, and then she gives additional damage to people based on the speed differences. This is really important, you know. This Ocean Lights thing is really key. So just still a really good hero, but the problem with Alysia is kind of where she's only good nowadays in PvP, which is a bit of a bummer, but she's not super efficient. And you need her A2 to get her speed buff in order to compete in the race. Next up, Badar. So Badar, fantastic counter to heroes like Light Nick, Dark Twin, really good there. So I would not underestimate him. He, not only his heals being really good, but the no positive effects that can't be resisted is really strong against Vengeful Hassle. One of the things with Vengeful Hassle is he will revive everyone, but then also put the invincibility on himself. And whenever your heroes die, that cooldown reduction on his ultimate goes down. So if you can put up the no positive effects to make sure that he won't get that a second time, you can kind of outlast the other heroes that are being revived. That's not always the case, but he's one of your best bets. His main application, though, is against the Dark Twin. You got to watch out with him against heroes like Adeline, heroes like Desdemona, who put up, unhealable. So he's kind of like Balthazar. He's a really strong pick at a lot of times, but then other times he can be, a downside. So just be careful of that. But he's still one of the top tier heroes in the RGB area to deal with some certain LDs. And then next up is Naya. So I mean, I might be a little biased here, but Naya is just really strong against any hero that is in a guard set, even though it's kind of falling off. But she is, a blue hero that does defense pierce right on her trait. Now, something that I wish the developers did is they let us know, what is what's the threshold? Right here, I don't know how much defense or shield is needed to get this 90% defense pierce. I just don't know. So I'm playing around with builds because she is stat intensive. She needs defense, attack, a little bit of health, a little bit of speed. But she does do really good damage. She's a great counter to Alysia, which is why I think she's very strong right now. She easily one-shots Alysia's. If she doesn't deflect, she can kill, Guan Yu. She can kill Cordelia's. So all of those things are nice. She also has a relevant basic ability, which puts immune up on herself. So she can do okay against heroes like Adeline. It's not, guaranteed or anything like that, but it does give her a chance, as well as having the immune up for heroes like Desdemona and stuff like that. So I do think Naya is very, very strong. She's a really good hero. If they introduce more and more shield heroes, she's only going to get better. They just introduced one in Mauricio, but I don't think he's great in PvP. He does have some applications against like Guan Yu and stuff, but other than that, it's really no relevance. So I know there's some heroes on here that I left off that people might expect to see, like a Tara or Thor, but I kind of just referenced it with Shark Soul Andre. I don't think tank heroes are really that good anymore. The Dragon Scale set, I don't think is as strong. I think it's more of a niche set. It's obviously very good on specific heroes. Heroes like Crazed Urzag, especially if he's A2, where he puts up 5 blocks on himself. This is really good because he's basically taking 1 damage at the start of the turn. So that's really good in that application. And then also with heroes like Vengeful Hassle, who puts up just raw damage reduction based on how many allies you have alive. This is really good for Dragon Scale as well. So, but yeah, like heroes like Thor, like I said, Atara, there's way too many heroes that do True Strike, ignore defense, or have max health true damage, where I just don't think these heroes hold up anymore. They're still good, but I don't think they're top tier anymore in regards to the RGB section. It's all about sniping, to be honest. It's a lot of quick kills, going first, and that's kind of how the meta has shifted. So anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. So let me know what you think in the comments section, and I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.